I actually have Adam. Adam's interesting because he's not in most of the play, but he is in our section. Adam is probably the one who tries to fit in the most. Very vulnerable and susceptible to peer pressure. He wants to impress them, and the whole way he got into this situation was getting drunk and doing what they told him to do. The thing that they thought was a laugh, and it led one thing to another to his demise, basically. So in terms of that, he's probably a middle range character. You want someone who can play the abilities to try and fit in, but by the time you are introduced to him as a audience, it's more about his emotional vulnerability, the experiences that he's had of almost dying, and then his friends leaving him for dead, realizing that they're not actually his friends, and more back to the basics, almost like a caveman effect it gives him, when he comes back and he has this really weird monologue that doesn't really make a lot of sense, and it's all about this den that he made and knowing his name and all these really simple strange things, and talking about the light and the blood, and he's talking about it with a real monotone way and not in an emotional way in terms of his voice, but and really blunt, because I feel that's what the way that the lines give it off, because he's just saying things like it was blood on his head, but is coming to terms with it, and that would be emotionally difficult for him to come to terms with, is almost dying and going almost mad, I guess. So in terms of that, he's quite a simple character to play when he comes back, because there's only one dimension that the audience sees, so the actor doesn't have to focus on all of the backstory. But if we can build it up beforehand with Jan and Mark, then it'll be clear his sort of character.